Hey YouTube, Oliver here, and today's video is the last installment of my period series. Today we are talking about dealing with and coping with periods. By now, I'm assuming that you know what a period is. If not, you can ask your mom, ask the internet, or check out a couple of my other videos, which I will link in the description below. The first method of dealing with periods, the most basic one, is pads. They're probably what you are introduced to first when it comes to periods. Here are some pads. These are the always overnight ultra thin ones. They're the ones that my family has used for as long as I've known. Comes like this. It's not too terribly gendered, actually. You know, it's got green and blue, mostly neutral colors. And even this is like peachy orange, not pink or anything. It's got stars and swirls on it. What you do to use a pad, you first open it up like that. And as you can see there's this paper here. There's an adhesive backing behind here. So you can use these in briefs or in boxers or, well, boxer briefs. Boxers are a little bit more difficult. I'll talk about making them period friendly in a minute. These are a pair of my boxer briefs. So what you can do is you can adhere it down in the crotch area between the legs. Like so. So you take this off of here. Leave this one on for now. And the wider area usually will go towards the back of the garment. You stick it in the bottom. Then, once it's stuck to the bottom there, you take off this bit and you fold the wings down so they're in a boxer briefs. They'll go down on the legs. If you are using briefs, they will go and fold around the edge of the underwear. And then, ta-da, you have made yourself a period diaper. That's the general feeling most people get with pads, is that they feel like a diaper. That's a big reason why a lot of people don't wear them. Also, the blood sitting there for a while can make a smell. That's a reason I don't particularly enjoy pads. The feeling, the smell, feels like you're just sitting in your own filth for hours. And also, these are noisy, and if you're using the men's room, it sounds like you're opening a bag of chips in the toilet stall, which is awkward. There is another type of pad which feels less diapery. They're the Always Flex Foam pads. They came out relatively recently, and they look like this. Also, not very gendered. I never noticed that before, but props to Always for making not particularly gendered pads. So, you open it up as you would any other pad, but if you look at it, it's not, let's get that to focus, it's much thinner and lighter, and the foam supposedly conforms to your body instead of just sitting there, and that really helps with the overall feeling. it's still a pad in all its paddish glory, but it is the least awful pad I have ever used. For making your boxers period friendly, pad friendly, basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your boxers and you're going to need to sew for this. You can take a piece of fabric, or the easiest would be to take another pair of underwear, maybe some briefs or some women's underwear even, and you can put them inside and sew them along the inside so that inside has this area that is closer to your skin where you can secure your pad. The next option is tampons. I've used the Kotex Click ones because they're shorter and smaller than a lot of tampons, so they can fit easily in your pocket, less conspicuously. They come in several types of absorbencies. Here's a regular with the R, here's a super with the S, and the regular absorbs less fluids, the super does more, and then there's like an extra super or something. And the way this works is you first open that up. Here's this. Here's the string, which comes in later. You extend this, then this goes up. You push this. That is left in there. You throw this away. Do not flush it. And then this sits up there until it's done its job. You pull it out by the string, and you throw that away. Don't flush these. They say you can flush them, but they actually are terrible for plumbing. So you should not flush them. You should wrap them up in toilet paper and throw them away. Another thing I like about these tampons is that the majority are actually masculine colors. Like, there's pink, but there's also green and blue, and if you take a look here, most are not pink. I'm a fan of that. One product you can use if your frustration is the always changing these products out so often, and if you want to create slightly less waste, you can use a disposable menstrual cup, like the soft cup. That's the only disposable one I know of. Comes in this, looks similar to a pad in its packaging. Very noisy wrapping, if that's a concern. And then it looks like this. It is this clear bag and this plastic ring. And what you do is you take this, fold it like so, and then you stick that up in there. This will sort of create a suction around the cervix where the blood comes out. The blood will go in this bag. You take it out and you throw it away. The reason you would have to switch this out less than a normal disposable menstrual product is it claims you can wear it for 12 hours. For a pad, it's usually around 4 hours. For a tampon, the max is supposed to be around 8. Another pro of this is there is no risk for toxic shock syndrome, which is a disease that can occur with tampons where the tampon is absorbent. It sucks up all of your natural liquids in there, leaving you vulnerable to a bacterial infection, which is not good. It can potentially be fatal, but it's very rare. A big concern with disposable menstrual products like tampons and pads is, first of all, the environmental impact. They create a lot of waste over the lifespan of a person who has periods, which ends up in landfills or ends up clogging up plumbing and creating plumbing disasters. Also, economically, they can be frustrating because you have to keep buying them all the time. The next step up from one of these bad boys is a legit menstrual cup. These are reusable, so you can use them, some of them for up to like 10 years if you get a good one. I just got one that I ordered a bit back in the mail today. It is the Ruby cup, and it looks like this. Since I'm not currently in need of this, I have not given it a full test out. I did try putting it in and taking it out to just give it a little spin, but I cannot yet give conclusive results on how well it works. I've heard great things about them, especially from Bree at Precious Star Pads on YouTube. I will link her. She has lots of great information on menstrual cups and periods in general. So what you do with this is you fold it up like that, or like that, or however, and you fold it up, you stick it in, and then it should pop open, and that creates suction like with one of these, and it collects all of the fluids in here. You then break the suction, pull it out, and you dump it out. You can rinse it out or wipe it out and then stick it back in, go on with your day. These, they say you can have it in for about 12 hours before you need to empty it too. This is the small size, and it says here, it actually has measurement lines. It says at the top measurement line that it'll hold about 15 milliliters. Also, the Ruby Cup company is based in the UK, and a great thing about them is for every cup that someone buys, they donate one to a period-having person in Africa so that they can continue working and doing school. So that's actually another reason to have one of these. This bag was actually made by one of the girls. I think that it was a special offer for Christmas, and I actually got the cup with the bag cheaper than just buying a cup because it was on clearance from Christmas. There are also reusable pads, which are cloth pads that you wash and can reuse. Precious Stars has some of those, so if you're gonna check her out, you can see those as well. One more option that I actually don't have that I can show you guys, but I'll provide a link below, is period underwear. They are underwear specifically made to absorb things and not leak. There's one company in particular, Thinx, I don't know how you're supposed to say it, it's THINX. They make a pair of underwear specifically for trans men, which I think is fantastic. Now that we've covered with methods of dealing with your period, now I will talk about emotionally and physically other than just hygiene dealing with your period. First of all, you're going to want to make sure you're hydrated. You're losing fluids, and being dehydrated makes cramping worse. You know, if you work out and you're dehydrated, you will get worse muscle cramps. Same thing, same concept with period cramps. You want to make sure you are properly hydrated and getting proper nutrition during this time. I've heard things that magnesium deficiency can make cramping worse, so you want to make sure you have all the right levels of your vitamins and minerals. Make sure you're eating well, taking your vitamins. Exercise is supposed to help with cramps. I know that's probably the last thing you want to do on your period. You want to just curl up in a ball and cry and forget about the world, but if you are able to find it in you, exercising should help. Heat. Heat helps a lot of people, like when you have Bengay on a muscle that you've pulled. It's the same thing with your period. What's happening with cramps is your uterus is squeezing and squeezing and breaking loose the insides, and it's cramping up. So you put a heating pad on yourself, or a bag of hot rice, or a cat, or a laptop. On your area where it's hurting, it will help relax the muscles. You can take a hot bath, anything like that, and it should help with your cramps. Emotionally, periods can be a rough time for anyone, especially someone who really, really doesn't feel like they should have one. Someone who is a man having a period. You need to make sure you're giving yourself time to take care of yourself and relax. You can watch some Netflix, and it's okay to cry. People watching my videos may be guys, and they're trying to get away from that, trying to get away from showing emotion and being weak because we've felt so weak all our lives. But it's okay to have a moment where you can just be open with your feelings and let it out. It's healthier than trying to push everything down. You can talk to a friend, and if you have a close friend, you can write in a journal. You can make some art and let out your frustrations. Thanks for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you again soon.